Also ist geklappt.
Sollen wir Musik hören?
Oder nervt es dich?
Ein
Find's
bisschen.
eigentlich an. Hey everyone, how are you today?
Hello,
I hope you can
everyone.
just give us one more second that we can start up. We just want to check if everything is working. Hey Flutterist, hey
Hi.
Mino, nice to see you. So the sound is good, we can see us, that's fantastic. Perfect! So let's give it 2 more minutes or something that everyone can relax. So how is it going?
How are you doing today?
How about your project, Minu? You have some problems with Google Maps. That's very sad to hear. Hopefully you find an issue for that on GitHub or that someone can help you there. But the problem is we don't really know what you're working on, and so it's very hard to debug from distance, right?
Thank you, Flutterist.
Oh yeah, thank you. So we can maybe start already by explaining what have we done the last time.
So we started with Hive.
Yes.
We integrate the Hive in our project.
Yeah.
And with Hive, we want to have a local database.
A local database, yeah.
So what we want to achieve is actually to add our categories in our database. And after that, add and save recipes.
Okay, add and save recipes. That sounds perfect. I mean, that sounds like a very good plan. To be honest, we don't have a chance at the moment to save actually categories, right? Our app, if we remember, we only have the possibility, and I will just change right now to the coding part. Let me check. Stop like that. Yes, we are using Hive since the last session. We started with that. So you can see here that we have the possibility now with our app. Scrolling up and down, we have the possibility to add a recipe. And the last time when we worked on that, we created, if you remember, the whole CRUD part for the categories.
Yes.
But we did not for adding a recipe.
No, not yet.
Yeah, so our idea is that we save now our categories down here, and I think we read them already from a local database.
I think we did the hard coding, or
did we did hard coding?
Can you open the project, Max?
Sure, but just give me a second.
Okay.
So, fantastic. So what I will do, we will code here in the big browser at the moment. So whenever we want to take a look how the app is looking, we will switch back. This is okay for you today?
Fair enough.
So let's try that out. So I guess I need to raise an issue. I think so too.
Okay, this is the communication between Max and Mino?
Yeah, I know. Mino was writing me that he has a problem with Google Maps and I think he's working on a Windows part. And then it's not stable channel, which always leads to a lot of problems. And yeah, so that's the problem if we don't work with the new with the stable stuff. Always can happen that there are some problems at the end. On the other hand, if he does it on the phone, then he really found an issue. So most likely the Flutter team will help them very quickly.
I would say the same. If you are the first person who has this issue, it's actually amazing. So you can create an issue for that and the Flutter team will work on it. And it will be mostly solved for everyone else.
So, and I have to check right now. I forgot, of course, that we are working on a Windows keyboard for a Mac, which is always a bit
challenging.
All right, so we manage all of that, I think. Is that the right project? It looks good. So we have also that in place. So we did it in the models, right, the last time? So we created this Hive type models where we added a type ID, so which type it is. We have the Hive fields 1, 2, 0, 1, and 2. All right, so we generate some models out of that, I think. So we have a read, get here some creation of the image URL, fields, and so on and so forth. Having some writing of the bytes, which looks pretty good. And what we want to do now, we talked about, we have here provider. Did we have the possibility to add a category? To initialize the categories. So let's see, we read categories. That's coming from the database. And here we initialize our part, right? So we have noodles, rice, chicken, beef, and veggie. And if this is true, we should find them down here. So noodles, rice, chicken, beef, and veggie. Fantastic. So if I delete one, for example, I don't like noodles anymore, then our database, of course, after, is that happening at the beginning? So it shouldn't change something if I remove that, I think, because we have already our Hive in place, right? So let's close that off and starting up again. And let's see how our application is behaving. But because I think it's in the local database once saved, we shouldn't get, it should be saved, right? So my removal up here with the init test data shouldn't change anything in that instance.
Ah, you mean because it's not on the database?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think this init Hive we call whenever we, we do that at the beginning of the app. So it could be that we override them, but let's see how it turns out. I'm not absolutely sure with that. So, have you already created a project with Hive, everyone? Ah, right, we did that loading spinner also the last couple of times, if you remember. So all the
loading spinner?
Yeah, so if we are starting up the application and we load the images, we get like this cool loading spinner splash. Yeah, that skeleton,
something
I think is the name. Fantastic. So, and I don't think that these categories are getting taken from Hive at the moment, or that our change has not changed anything.
Oh, okay.
I shouldn't work with two keyboards. Ah, hey, mon bleu. So you would like to learn so much. That is fantastic, because I think we have a lot of time. Oh yeah, Shimmer was
the package. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so still have to fight with the keyboard. But on the other hand, let's check out what we can do here. So we have these noodles, we have the init test data that we added. So we want to get rid of that at the end of this session, I hope, so that we get our repo service, we get the categories out of this repo at the end, and then we implement them. So what do we have here? If the categories are empty, we want that the categories that's why we don't see a change. So
iterate through the category list and save the categories.
Yes, so that means we always run over that, and in the worst case, we save that whole thing.
So we save it before we read it.
No, we read first to check if a category is already in the database, and if there is not, then we would save all our categories that we have here.
Okay.
You want to learn notifications. I think notifications is not part of today. That's gonna be too far, especially because I think you have to integrate Firebase for that. But it sounds like a great idea. We look like
we look like Big Bang Theory couple.
Does it mean she is Sheldon?
Honestly, I don't think that is what Radix said.
I think he told exactly that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be Sheldon.
But I think it's something like that. Maybe you can use one signal for notification.
So let us check out the one signal.
Yeah, see what's that.
Just quickly, that I have an idea what this means. It's a free push notification service.
For iOS and Android?
It looks like, yep.
But it's failing.
Always happen in that area. How you get data from Firebase database? All right, that will come. I think we made already a Firebase profile there, but I will maybe have another look there. But yeah, just write it in. I think I have created today in the community tab in my channel possibility where you can add your suggestion for more videos and just add it there. If it gets more likes, then I would put it as a new video out. All right, so one signal. The question is here, has it internet support? Because we want to create an app that don't has any access to the internet, right? So we want to have it completely
actually just local. Yeah.
So I think that will not be part in this area yet, but we will have a look here. Hey Hamish,
Hi, Hamish.
Nice to see you. Well, we have a lot of communities here today. I hope we don't blame ourselves.
No, we are doing our best. It's fantastic.
We have started, Hamish. So we talked to everyone. Hello, we talked with everyone, and yeah. So
have you been there last time, Hamish? I don't know anymore.
He was there at Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, but as we implement the Hive database in our project, and I'm not sure if he was there and he knows what happened.
So maybe you can give a round trip what we have done the last couple of times.
Ah, he was there.
Saturday Night Fever.
Amazing. So Max, what?
Yeah. So we have initialized the categories, right? So that means we have them at the moment. But at the moment they are hard-coded. And we don't have any chance to add a category. So actually, if we want to write something that adds a category, that's not possible at the moment.
No, actually, I think we have also some limitation in our UI.
Correct. I think that is the most interesting. That is the biggest problem at the moment. We cannot. So we can only add a recipe at the moment, but we cannot add a new category down here.
Yeah, I think this was also the reason why we hard coded them.
Yeah. One option that I would really like, and that I usually do for something like that, where we have a list or like this, and we want to add a last item, is that we create like this card here.
As a placeholder.
As a placeholder with a plus icon inside, and we can just click it and then add our category in a new screen. What do you think? Is that an option that we could do?
I think it sounds good. It sounds good. We can do that, but at the other side, what I'm thinking is if it's necessary at the moment in our application to give the possibility to user to add category.
Well, at the moment we don't have any possibility, so yeah, we can make a poll for it. So I think that sounds like a great idea. So let's start with a poll here in the meantime, so everyone has something to do while we are talking about the stuff. Now I'm a bit unprepared. Let's see how we can start it. Where is it? I think here. I hope not everyone gets bored. And the chat latency should be pretty small. I just hope that the internet connection is not the problem again like the last time. So should we create categories? Or what is the alternative? If
add a recipe. Add recipe and have the category hard coded.
Okay, so
should I create categories or add recipe? Yeah, something like that.
And the other thing would be add category. So I add these two, say done, and start the poll. So you will get some. It is decent here from Southeast Asia. Wow. I think you will have some latency just because we are from Germany, so most likely till the internet traffic is going till you guys can take a while. Okay, but this won't be one option. So we would create like this card for the categories, and if we would make add recipe, well, we have our screen already, right, with our recipes here. So
we can use
can directly use the same. So this would be the idea.
Actually, it sounds good.
Yeah. So, but we have to check.
Now it's with the community. Your decision, guys.
So if you have never voted on our chat yet, you can now enter close enough minnow. You don't add the category. You can vote for recipe or category.
Category.
Flutterist, you have to do it like Emish did. So you have to write exclamation mark vote, space, and then the option that you want to do. And I can have a live trigger. That looks perfect. Fantastic. Vote for both.
You make it very easy for us.
So category. That looks like category wins, Mahtab.
Yeah.
I hope you are not sad.
No, not at all. At the end.
The video is frozen. Now I'm afraid that should not happen.
Just for you or for everyone?
It looks good on your screen, right? So
yeah, actually, I have it also open in that screen.
All right. So what I would do is we have some votes in, and I think 3 of them. I will give it 2 more minutes. Perfect, more blue. And let's see how we're coming in.
Frozen makes it matter. So it makes fun to see them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just because we don't move. We are like yeah, exactly. All right. So I will close the poll now. We complete the whole thing, and then let's start with the categories. I think that's fair enough. Or
yes, perfect.
So we have add categories already. We created the CRUD elements for the categories. So the only thing that we need is actually a UI for it, and that should be pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
So
we have already some UIs, I would say.
Yeah. So we have the different screens, right? And
I should mute my
Hey Alistair, nice to see you. You didn't miss anything. We made just the start of today's day, and now we are working on creating an add categories screen. Makes that sense? Yeah. This is the category screen, and we make now an add category screen, right?
Yes.
So let's create a directory for that in that case. So not a directory, sorry, just a file.
So Hamish, did you vote for both of them, or did you vote just for one of them? I assume if you voted for both of them, maybe one of them won't be counted.
Yeah, so we have still to figure out the stuff that sometimes it don't works, or maybe it was just a mistake here.
Where's your beer?
I have created some memories, I think.
Yeah?
Because the last time when I had a breakdown in my Flutter GitHub presentation, then I had like an hour where I worked on it and the problem, and after that when I fixed everything I was like, okay, now I need a beer, and started to drink beer here on the stream.
So we will come to the time. At the moment we have coffee, so let's see if we need later on beer.
Absolutely. So there is actually on my side, or is it everywhere? It seems on your side, because we can see here the stream. It looks pretty good, Hamish, sorry for that. Alright, so we have now an add category screen.
Perfect.
But actually we don't want to implement that yet. The first thing that we would like to do is adding that
first placeholder.
Exactly, to add a placeholder in the end of that list here. And how can we do that? We have to go to our dashboard screen, I assume.
Yeah.
And hopefully we have here something like categories. And we have here the category screen. And this is the navigation, right? So this page route builder that we did with a nice own transition, if you remember, which we maybe should change a little bit, contains our page route builder. All right, we don't care about that so much at the moment. But instead of having here Listview separated, it will build our different items, right?
Yes.
And now we would have like to add one additional count. We have the app provider categories length. So we have two options here. Number one is that we add, for example, our category, a fake category, to create the last item. But I really don't like the idea, because if we add that to categories, it's like we fake something, and actually our placeholder is not really a category, right?
So, which means, where is the category? There we have
this comes from our app provider, as you can see.
Yeah.
So you have the categories here, and we receive it through the
our category 9.
Through this list of categories it is at the end.
Okay.
So if there is a category inside, we will read them from here. So, and I would not really like that. Oh, it's just from the old video. Yes, Amish. I should really take more care about our descriptions, because I currently copy a lot, and so that comes from there. So this categories is a category model, right? So we could fake one ourselves that we would call placeholder or something with an image from us, but I don't really like the idea, because that would mean that we always have here some fake inside. Yeah, that is not from us. To create a placeholder, what I usually do, I increase this item count by 1, right? So that we get one. But now we have to make sure that in our item builder, we have a bit more than just returning immediately a gesture detector stuff, right? Because we have to make sure that, I hope I do that right at the moment. Are we? So here, and this gesture detector is getting returned now, that everything works again. But for us, important is that the index that we created now, because we have now this +1, which is our placeholder, is now empty. So we will not have a category in that place, right? Because whenever we come here to an index that has not a category behind, we want to show our placeholder. So up here, I would do that right now. So we're asking for that element. And if it is null, now we know this is our placeholder. So we return our placeholder. Makes this sense?
So that means if we don't have any parameter in our list, we will have just a placeholder. So if our list is empty,
our list is on the index +1, right? So it is out of range actually. then we want to have, or then we have our, then we check that this one is null. I think that will break at the moment, but we will fix that later or in a second. But this will check for the latest element, more or less. And if this one is null, then we want to give a placeholder. So at the end of our list, we add a placeholder for that.
Okay.
And this is just how we check that, or how I check that at the moment. As I said, it could break at the moment, but I want to give it a look. And as you can see, it's getting in a range error. Because what happens is now we try to access this index here, and this is of course not possible. So the index is out of bounds.
Yeah.
So our check is wrong, because our index is now the length of the list plus 1, which is out of bounds. And now we have to check that this index is larger than the list from app provider .categories.length.
Okay.
So if this is the case, right? So this will be, for example, 4, and the index will be the 5th element, then the placeholder should be shown. So let's see how it turns out here. I will make a restart, but it seems still wrong. Hey Hamed, nice to see. Wow, there's a lot of text. Old video, true developer always copies. That's so true.
Hey Hamed, nice to see you here.
You can see blue color glow. How could you get rid of that? My UI looks yuck if there is a glow. I don't... What do you mean with... So if you scroll here and you see that blow overflow, I think there is a property that changes the whole thing. You have to check that, Minu. I think I saw there something.
Okay.
So now that's still invalid value 0 inclusive 5. Okay, so it seems that we still get in this error here.
Can you please print the index one time?
Yeah, sure. But
just to
I
see.
have to double check. Let's have this, and in the meantime, I print the index as you pleased. So then we can check here. So the index is 345, 345. Okay. Ah, now here we go.
And now we have it.
So here we have our placeholder now at the end. So,
Okay.
and this placeholder will now behave like the other things, right? So,
okay.
Cool. So now instead of having a placeholder, we want to have this wave border card that we know already. And I hope that we can pass something else inside that image URL and width. But unfortunately, we cannot. Because I would like to have a child that can be an icon, for example.
So what you can do is actually just bigger than everything else.
Yeah, it's somehow weird, that's true.
We have the RISP card.
We have a width fixed specified, so this is 200 at the moment.
Okay. And what we can do is, as a RISP card name, we can just say add recipe.
Morbleu, very good question. Can we use a Listview builder to do that? Yes, we could, but as you remember, it is exactly the same, right? You have also an item builder, which also would include the same problem at the end. But I think it would be exactly the same possibility to create the whole thing.
So, just a question to make it clear for me and maybe for someone else. We have the possibility to use the Listview builder or, for example, Listview separated.
Yes.
Max, I think you are looking for something that I can give you.
Yeah, that would be great, but you could still also explain.
Yeah, here.
Sorry.
So, we have the list.
A bit the setup.
The list view separated
Yeah.
has this nice line between our items in the list, right? And the list view builder, when would you use the list view builder?
The list view builder is if you don't want to have a separation between the different parts. We created here our own separation that you can see. It is that little gap here in between. And if we take a look here in that separated, we have the item builder here. And when we scroll a bit down, the separator builder.
Divider or size box index.
Perfect. And this is at the end just our size box. So we have created our list and we separate each item with 20 pixels of width.
Okay, so if we don't want to have this, we can just use the builder.
The builder, exactly. So this is just a helper function for us that we can create our UI a little bit easier.
Perfect, okay.
All right, this is just necessary if we want now to make like the list plus 1. So this is a bit different, but we will have a look here. So what does this wave border do exactly once more? I don't remember so much. So we have that width on a fixed width of 350. That's interesting. We have a stack for that with clip wrapped. That's no worries. That's why we are here, right? That we are talking about this stuff. So cool.
Close this one.
Oh yeah, sure. Thank you.
So.
And I think also that one is not necessary right now. So cool. What do we do here? We have like a click with a hero animation thing
This
and
is
so on.
Transition. We have a container with box decoration, box shadow, and I think on top of that, the container with the click.
To be honest, I wouldn't change this wave border card at the moment.
No, but what I thought is instead of having the inside box with the name, we want just to have a plus icon.
To have the plus icon?
To add a category.
Yes, exactly. So what I would do is just taking the box decoration maybe later. But at the moment I would just use a container and add this icon itself. But I wouldn't reuse that wave border card.
Can't we use it with copy width? To change some parameter?
I don't think so, because we would have to implement the copy width method in that area.
Okay.
So that we create a new element from that and copy it with the new values that we have. So this is just where that method is provided. So you talk like, for example, for the theme data of context, right? And then you have this copy with method. But if you check it and you jump here inside that, you see it is an implementation of copy with. So someone else have took the time to really go through all the different attributes or properties of that class, and you can create a new class of it with all the overrides that you want to do. Okay. But that's all right. So in our option, that wouldn't work that well. So I would say we add here a container. And inside of that container, we have a child. We have a child. Perfect. So, and this child is an icon, right? Yeah. Icons plus, I think.
Add, I think.
Is it add?
Yeah, I would say.
Perfect. Can we make an add with circle? Are you happy with that?
Yeah, why not?
Sorry. Circle. Fantastic. Okay, so this will of course look a bit weird, but we will check that. So if we scroll here on the right...
Okay, we need some width and height.
Well, we have our plus icon.
Actually, it works.
How many websites do you have? We have at the moment 2 from us, I think, right?
Yes, one of them is basically for our articles.
Yeah.
And the other one is for YouTube.
The other one is for YouTube, yep, flutterexplained.live, and the other one is miracledesign.de, I think. Yep. Or is it new Mac? No, it's not a new Mac. The thing is, if we are having this setup, that you can see us both. I don't want to sit here in front of the laptop and work like I do when I'm solo coding. And therefore, we have this nice little Windows keyboard that is like that tremendously big. And it is also super loud, and it is my old gaming keyboard. And now I'm just tipping in that, but you will hear every single keystroke. So be aware. Windows, what is, yeah, the problem is that we currently don't have a capture card, and this is pretty, hello Nickel, nice to see you. The game capture card is super expensive, and
for now.
It's always a bit, do we have the money to put that inside? So buy our merch.
Yeah, you can support us.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, so we have our icon. Looks a bit weird, so I would add here also a width, I think.
Yeah, I would say same. Go into container.
Yeah, like 200.
200,
that is as big as the others. And
I think the height is the same. So
height, yeah, I think it's full with height. I mean, right?
I think you don't need to provide it.
Yeah. Is there not a cool possibility to have like 2 keys to jump into another screen? I don't know. Cool, but how does it look now? Like this. Okay, so now we need still a border, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And after that, the border, and I think the icon needs to be a bit bigger, or?
Yeah, I would say the same. So maybe with font size, just...
Yeah, so just adding that to the icon itself, I think, right? So what do we want to give for a size? Or do we want to... yeah, I would stick now with a hard-coded size. The width should be smaller. I don't think so, because the width is now as big as the other cards. So I would keep with that, because we are using the skeleton field, and I think that looks pretty good. But
yeah, I would say same. But what we can do is we have already a container. We can maybe just provide a background color or something like that. So we have it in the background, so gray color.
Yep, we can do that, of course. So we increase the font size of the icon. And what we want to have is that background color, right?
Yeah.
And what I will do is, because I know we will change more than just the color, we will also have a border and a shadow and so on. What do we use then?
Decoration?
Yeah, the decoration, which is a box decoration.
Go for it.
And a fantastic box decoration. And why I did add not a color to the container itself, because it will break if we have a decoration.
If we have color and decoration, it will break.
Correct, exactly. So now we have here a const, which is color 0xff. Which color do you want? Guys, choose for a color. We do it at the moment black. So
I provide a gray color. I would say it's
gray.
Gray, yeah.
Okay, let's make it gray. Is it 6 numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, fantastic. And you can change the color immediately. So if you have a fantastic color that you would like to see inside of our categories add part, please let us know that we have a fantastic color here. Also for the icon, please. That would be fantastic. So was it clear that the community was meant? I hope so. Or?
I hope so.
Cool.
Sure.
All right, so we have a box shadow and so on. And do you remember that we used, I think, somewhere?
Actually, we have the decoration from our wave border card.
Yeah,
so
that should exist somewhere, right?
Yeah, I think the same.
So let's have a look. Lazy loaded images. Here's the box
shadow with box decoration.
Where's the...
No.
Here's a border radius. That's
and the color is a box shadow color, which
what is the radius here? Ah, you can see here's our radius that we want to have at the end.
So perfect. We can use this one.
So I will move that one out of the wave border card to our constant constant file that we have somewhere.
We should have it
here,
somewhere.
Constant dart.
Here.
And with that, we have the possibility to add this here, because we know now, okay, this will be a constant that we use more often. And I would call it wave border radius to give it a better name that we can find it easier.
Yeah.
And of course, this one will now complain because it can't find it anymore. But we will import it and everything will be fine. Okay, gray is nice. Yeah, which gray? Gray is like... yeah, theme is super useful. Absolutely, I highly recommend you that. If whenever you can use it, do it. That's for sure.
So great. Now we have the border radius.
Okay, so we can add here the border radius, right? It's part of the decoration.
Yeah.
And I used the wrong keyboard.
Border radius.
Which is then
K wave something.
Ah yeah, wave border radius.
Yeah.
Exactly. So here we have the first number. Thank you, Melo J. That's fantastic. I like that you like it. So, and for me, it's also way better if you are all here because
it makes much more fun.
So now we have a bluish card, which is also fine. And what I would like also to add is like getting the cave border radius, and we have also the box shadow somewhere, right? I saw that in that wave.
Yeah.
So this box shadow, is it actually a constant? Yeah. Why not doing this as a constant, huh?
But wait, Max.
Yeah.
Now we have in decoration, we have a box decoration with a certain border radius and a box shadow, which means actually we can extract the box decoration completely instead of
this
just.
One is a const?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I think that makes way more sense. The K-wave border radius I would still keep because of these
we
two.
have it there.
But you are right. I think the box decoration here can be taken out completely right till down here.
Yes, actually.
Because it's all a const. So
or what we can do is, we can also just extract the box shadow.
But if we use exactly the same box decoration on the other side,
makes sense.
I think it makes sense. Yeah. So I will just put that down here. Did I make something wrong? No.
No. You're just at the top. You need a const with equal.
With a name. Yeah, you're right. So this is K wave box decoration. So I'm always happy if you have better names like me. I'm just very lazy, so I just take whatever I think fits the best. So this is the caveway border decoration. Fantastic. And we have now somewhere in our dashboard screen, we wanted to add that here too, right?
Yeah, actually the whole,
so this part,
the decoration can be replaced.
The only problem is now that we want to have a certain color. And if you remember, if we jump here inside, we didn't specify a color.
No, but yeah.
So, and now comes your copy width into place.
But this time it works. So in the previous time, as I asked you, we extracted the whole widget.
Yes, exactly.
So therefore, we need it for a whole widget if we extract it, and after that we want to use the copy width method. We should create this copy width method for our own widget.
Correct.
But here we have just a constant, and
we have here not because it is a constant. We have here a box decoration,
which is an implemented widget.
I think the box decoration is not really a widget. If we jump inside, it is a decoration, and with that, it is a const. So you can see that here it has a constant. What is that? Constructor.
Okay, and someone else took care already of everything else for us.
The Flutter team is especially, because if we are jumping here inside and we are searching for copy width, you will find in the box decoration a copy width method which will return a box decoration object for us.
Perfect.
And this is what we exactly want at this point, because we want to use all the parts that we have implemented in the K-Wave box decoration.
Yeah.
But we want to also change the color. And with that, we can say copy width and say color now, and give the color from image inside, which I have in my console here, I hope. Or not. So I have to copy it once more. Get this beautiful blue here inside.
It's blue.
Color. I think it's blue, yep. There were two less other options, so it's getting now blue. So I hope everyone is aware that it's getting blue now. Alright. I will remove that comma here at the end, so to make it a bit cleaner. And if we are jumping back, we can see now it's getting this blue part.
Wow.
Can you see that on the bottom right here?
I think it's because of the shadow.
You think because of the shadow? Yeah, that could be.
I would say.
Yep, that's right. That could be. All right, but that comes close to our solution already, right?
Yeah.
But what I would like to have is here on the right side, like a little padding or something, so that we have a bit more space. Or I don't know if this is possible. I would add that to the container. Maybe it's a margin in that case. And this margin has an edge inset. That is a first time right now. Do you know that? It's the first time that the community is talking with each other, and we don't really have to interfere. Yeah. It is fantastic. It's
it's actually very nice, guys.
Yeah.
Do it further.
That's exactly what I want to see on.
So on the right side, maybe just 10 or something, or 8. That's fine.
Keep it with 8. I think that's all right. And let's have a look. Has something changed? Yeah. So
yeah,
you can see now there is also the shadow again. So because of the margin, it has space to give the shadow behind. So what is the color for the plus icon, Amish, or everyone else who has a good idea?
To be honest, I think we should create a poll, or you guys should tell us which color should have icon and the container.
Yeah, exactly.
So the color which we use at the moment is from Hamish.
But exactly, Hamish said already he wants this color, and because he was the only one who's responded, now it's blue.
Now it's blue. It's Hamish's color. Yeah. And now we need a color for the icon.
Alright, correct. And maybe we make also the icon a bit bigger.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Fs. I think that is not an actual color, Hamish. I'm sorry.
I think it's a typo.
Yeah, most likely. And what I will do is I'm just increasing that icon a little bit. And of course, this is not mobile friendly at the moment. I think we will have create now everything so that it's getting beautifully. And whenever we have the time, then okay, it's maybe a bit big. But and as soon as we have time, or we take our time again, we refactor a little bit the mobile friendly so that we are more this is wrong at the moment. Sorry.
Ein sip of coffee.
Yeah. And we are coming later to it back, where we then try to make it more responsive for macOS and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a color really, so let's check. You want to have this icon here. You were busy a little bit. So that's how you tell me that. So we make this a const, of course, with that color code. We didn't start with Hive. I'm sorry. That's no. Sorry. Let's check the other one.
Take the other one.
And save, I think. The purple could go well, I think. Oh well. Maybe if we turn it around. But this is too dark, I think, right? I think we need a designer.
Yeah, but it's fine for now.
Yeah. So what we did, Flutter, is we created that last card here, which is at the moment our placeholder to work with. So, and what we want to do is now, if I'm clicking on it, what do we want to do?
Check detector.
We want to navigate, right?
Yeah.
So, fantastic. Okay, so we have that container and now we want to navigate. How do we handle navigation at the moment? We do that with navigator.push.
Yeah.
But our application seems to get bigger now, right?
Yeah,
we have now
bigger.
the screen with the add category, add recipe, we have the dashboard. It's maybe slowly the idea of thinking about on generation of routes, right? But
with the named route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this would be maybe an option for future. At the moment, I will keep it like that, but we should really think about to change that in the future. So should I really poll for them? That is a good idea. So Mahtab, can you create a poll? Do you have access to everything?
I actually have access.
Okay.
I just should see where I do that.
Well, we try to publish that, Amish, if we have the chance at the end. So it is like our community project and it is open source. So if you want to help, go for it.
There you go for a poll.
Yeah, no, that is not right. You have to go back and then you go to chatbot on the left side. Cloudbot, I'm sorry.
Here we go.
And then you find polls on the top register. And now you can say add poll and then add everything.
You see, guys, we have to learn so many different things. It's not just coding.
Did I try the get package? No, I didn't. I still did not try the get package. I got now a comment because of my state management work, and it is not that easy. It is a whole lot of package because the get package is really big. And I'm always a bit concerned about stuff that is too big because it promises a lot, but usually it is a bad idea to have a golden hammer. This is called Antipattern inside the software development, which golden hammer is it called. That means you shouldn't have something that really does everything. That is a very bad idea. This is a... let me check if I find the English article. I don't know why it's German now. Yeah, what is the golden hammer anti-pattern? So there you will find a lot of this stuff, and at the moment get is for me or getx is the name, I think. It is a huge package and it has so much stuff inside, so I'm a bit careful with that. I tried to use image color picker to make a color mood board. No, I've never done that. Would be fantastic if you can give us an example there, Morbleu. Okay. Back to the problem that we wanted to solve, right? So we want to navigate. We want to navigate from our container that we have here to our... I make an inkwell in that case because it's easier to implement and we just have an on press. On tab, I mean. And this on tab contains... Oops. That keyboard behaves very strange at the moment. I don't have any... Okay. How would I... Okay. I have to cheat a little bit. Yep. So, fantastic. What happened there? What do you think about Qubit? I love Qubit, and Qubit is getting merged into Block. I think I created there also a video for that, but now we have one Block package, and inside of that you will find Qubit. I really like it, and it works anyway with Provider, which is both a good option. So nice to see you, Xaxa. Long time no see. Colors are better. It's a website. So image color picker is a website, or the color mood board. Really? Let me check that. Never heard about it. Image color picker. click on an image to get HTML codes. Interesting. Have to check there. But at the moment, we keep with the inkwell on tab. So what we want to do is we want to navigate whenever we have navigator dot off. Was it off context and then push, right? Material page route, and this one gets the context and navigates to the next image, which is our add category screen. Did I miss? Oh, there was it. Like this. No. That mistaken. The parameter builder is required. Push and this one is the builder. Yeah, this is the so like that. And this one will be imported, of course. And here we go. Adding some commas at the end, and we have done it. So whenever we click now on this big button here, we should get navigated to our next screen, right? And this doesn't work. I don't know why. So bouncy scroll physics work. Congratulations. Oh. Why didn't you? So gray, light purple, light green.
So these three colors I just used for the background color. And now I will create a new poll for icons.
All right, so let's see.
Okay. I hope you guys are happy with that.
The coding guy, you can create like a base widget which implements all of them. I think we did that somewhere here, right? Even with the responsive layout. And you can add here like this is small screen booleans, which then get the media queries, and only they work with the media queries. And with that, you don't have to pause the media queries everywhere. You can do that in special places. And yep, your vote is counted, I think. Or no, we have just one vote at the moment.
Just a light green.
The light green, so his vote, but gray was not working.
The gray doesn't work because I wrote it with A, and not E, sorry.
Well done, Matt.
Is it gray with E?
Yes.
I thought it's gray with A. Oh, sorry, my bad.
What does gray mean?
Gray.
Gray?
Oh no.
Oh, it's also possible.
Gray or gray. It depends on where you live. So. So guys, in Germany we write it with A. Right. How about you guys?
Okay, so I hope that helps the coding guy. I can dare give you more interesting features, but I think the what is his name? Phil Stacks created a very good video session about the whole responsive design in internet and everything. I don't know, what is it in India, Hamish? What is gray in India? What is the language in India? I know it. Oh, John will kill us if we don't tell it right. Okay.
Oh,
Hindi.
help us. Hindi.
Yeah, I think
Hindu.
it's Hindi.
No, it's the religion. Oh, Hindu. Which?
Okay, we don't want to blame ourselves, so let's go with the add category screen. Sanskrit is the written language, or? Many languages. I think many languages is the perfect answer, because I know that in the south and the north it's completely different. English is part and Hindi is the language.
Hindi is the language. Okay.
Look at that. Sorry everyone. That was embarrassing. Let's go back to our add category screen.
So, and I have one more task.
Alright, but interesting, our container is not... Do you remember that error that when we have an empty widget that we can't navigate? I still have that and we don't know why. Oh, Tamil. Tamil is also one. Yeah, that's true. Malayalam.
They have been in Sri Lanka, and that was also, I think, Tamil or the language.
I think so, yeah. But I think the Tamil had a bad time in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
So it's not... Yeah.
So guys, to be honest, I would like to ask you if one more person can vote for our placeholder color,
exactly 50-50.
Because it's exactly 50-50 and I can't decide it. So please, one more vote is needed.
So, okay, so in the meantime, I will add in that child just a text widget, hello world, just to see if we can navigate, because somehow...
Yeah.
Ooh. No.
Pablo, that was me.
Light purple.
Light purple.
You see, it's now you have one vote, one vote, one vote. So you can decide even better.
How can I vote?
You have to write, there is it. So you have to write exclamation mark and after that vote, then you make a space and then the option that you want to take. In the meantime, I try to navigate. So something navigates, but it is...
Why is the hello world and dashboard screen? What's going on?
Maybe there is a scaffold missing or a material app missing.
I would say...
let me check. I add here a scaffold. And inside of that scaffold we have a body. And this has... Where are we? Here. Fantastic. How does it look? Yeah, way better. Way better. So this means we center that one and go back. Here we go. Fantastic. So I click here, we come to the next page and everything works.
So I think, Hamish, it's not matter how often you vote.
The amount of votes, it's always
one person, one vote. But nevertheless, I have now 5 votes.
Wait, Avi is asking what are the votes. It is gray, light purple, light green. So you will see up the Streamlabs has voted that. I don't know if I can, let me check if I can help you there. It would be this one if I try to answer. So, and the 3 in the brackets, like gray, light purple, and light green, are the options. There are none. Okay, so in the meantime,
so it works.
It's interesting how much fun the people have with votes, right? I didn't expect that in the beginning, but it seems so complicated.
It's much more interesting than the coding. So keep it that.
All right. So we have our hello world and Hamish votes for everything.
It's fine. Okay. So I will just wait 1 more minute and after that I will close the vote.
Cool. And in the meantime, I can give here a shot. So we have now this new possibility, and in our scaffold, I would like to have an app bar, which is from type app bar. And we have here the title, because it's a text in our case, which will be add category, I think. So,
I don't want to disturb you,
no
but
worries.
Hamed, you don't need any tag for your vote. Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
So, now we have the add category up there, which looks a bit fuzzy as if we compare that to this part.
So, I will close the poll now and I will create another one. So if you guys couldn't manage it, I will create
another one?
Yeah, for the color of the icon.
Oh, right.
So,
okay, fantastic. Do that.
Close the poll and we'll have gray.
Why do we have a custom?
What's the most voted option? So max 4, go for that.
That is the placeholder, yeah?
Yeah.
So inside of our dashboard, we have now the color FFE0E0E0. So, no, this was the icon, that is wrong, so this part. So let's see how it looks. Well, way better. Thank you guys. I enjoyed it. I'm thinking about to add here also a bottom margin with 8 pixels, just to have a look how it, yeah, because the shadow is problematic here. I think I have to add that also to the other parts. Down here we have the wave border card, and I think this wave border card container, here we should have also a margin. Only bottom 8 pixels. All for shadow. I think the shadow is already there, sorry. Or do you want a different shadow color? So, and inside here. Cool. So the add categories screen, what do we want here? I think instead of using the app bar that we use usually, we use our custom app bar, which is defined. So, And what do we pass here inside? Morocco! We loved Morocco. What a nice country. Very nice to see you, Matt. I mean...
Yeah, we have been there 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was great.
That was fantastic, yeah.
So what what's the title? We want to have add category. And this is not a real add bar, and so we can't use that here. We want to have the worst. So what do you want?
I just wanted to see if you have any specific color here. No, go for it, sorry.
No worries. I don't know if we can run multiple polls. I think we have to try that in the future. So, and what I want to
No, I couldn't manage it.
You couldn't manage it? Ah, Mahtab. So we have the add category screen, add recipe screen. Add recipe screen, and I think here we have that column with the custom add bar. Alright, so let's do exactly that for our add category screen, that they are a bit closer to each other. So wrap that in a widget column, and inside of column we have not a child, we have children. I hope it's okay for you guys that I'm just coding for myself here a bit, and Mahtab is on the work with polling. So we have the children here, we have a container, and now we have our custom app bar, which has the title of add category. Fantastic. Cool. So that is that part. Now we have hello world, we don't really need that. And what I would love to have again is like a background image, right, for the categories. Or what do you think? I would like that both screens are a bit closer to each other. The problem is at the moment we don't have really made widgets out of that screen at the moment. So what we could do is like copy everything and then bring it back and then remove all the state that we have inside, but somehow it feels weird.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
How do we keep a live stream on time? You have time codes in the description. That was... Yeah, no, I think the time codes are like from the old time live stream where I added them already, so I'm sorry for that. I will remove them now because I think you are not the only one who is getting confused by them. So, but you know, we are just that amazing that we have everything planned. We are German, efficient. It's like... Okay, so which one is dark blue? That's a good question.
Which one is dark blue? Dark blue is the color. So,
Thank you, Mahtab, to clarify that. So it's a color.
Yeah. How should I show you now, guys?
Can you send the free color codes into the chat? Then I create
yeah, they
free
have it.
No, I need the color codes because I don't see them here. I just see the votes that you get. So if you have the color codes, I can create containers for that, and then everyone can see what the colors are about.
Yeah. The dark blue is...
Can you send them in the chat because else I can't copy them and then it's getting too complicated for me.
Alright.
Oops, wrong, this one, no, yeah. So here's dark blue. Voila. It's more purple, I think. So this is
the reason why I didn't do that.
So what I will do is I also give that a child, which is the text dark blue. And we add another container and another container. The purple is that one. Most likely everyone has already voted, or so.
No, not actually.
Cool.
And the last one is actually just boring black.
Black, so dot colors dot black. I just add them so everyone sees the three colors. By the way, black is not a color, I think.
But I think you are right. My blue is somehow... No. Yeah, maybe. Is it really blue or... No, the middle one is purple and the top one is...
Yeah, Flutter is. The cooler of the laptop is fantastic actually. It's blue. It's still giving some light, but the cool thing about it is that it is very stable, so it doesn't slips on the grounds, and that's very good. Really enjoy that. Okay. So in the meantime, while we're having a look into the three colors here, dark blue, purple, and other purple, I make some advertisement because we have a fantastic website called flutterexplained.live. No worries, but it's always great, and we have some improvements. I don't know, can you test all these commands on the left side, please? Because I don't know if any of them is working, and actually they should, so I don't know if this is going to work. So I couldn't test them for myself, so it would be great if you have some time and going through them. And yeah, you can see all the stuff that we have, and it's pretty fantastic that we have also Discord now in place and so on. So cool. Is the poll finished? Can I take a color? I think black is winning.
I would say, I don't want to be boring, but I think you guys love boring, so.
All right, so keep it with basic black at the moment. So where can we, where had we the thing? Dashboard screen, I think. Oh, great. So some of them is working. That's good.
Wow, Hamish, you're really active.
Yeah, really. So
thank you very much.
Keeping our chat up.
Don't leave. Join. Leave.
I think this is just the commands that I have implemented. So where is the...
So close the poll.
But I think they don't work, it seems. Good to know. Okay. Wait, I have to concentrate on one thing.
So
you take
the color of the... Yeah, I'm in the chat, no worries. The color of the icon should be black. So please, Max.
Okay, I'm searching the color of the icon.
Take care of the icon.
Yes. So add article, that whole thing, wave border, I think it was on top, and here we have our color, which is 0xf, and I will make that thing black. Cool. So let's check that out, and it looks fantastic.
Perfect. But just for me, please make it a little bit smaller. Now.
What should I make smaller?
The icon.
The icon?
A little bit, yeah. It's
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. What is a little bit? So like.
It's I don't know, something like 50
times 0.8. Okay, let's make it 60. All right.
Yeah, it's fine.
So maybe that's fine. All right. So maybe we have also a better idea how we can set maybe a background image or anything. So it seems that most of the commands are working, yeah?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Fantastic. And now, next task, Max.
All right, add categories. So I added the custom bar already. So the question is now, should we have a background image for that? Like we have for the add recipe screen, right? If we remember, it looks more like this. Should we clone more or less the background, the whole thing for the categories, or is it not that important?
What I'm thinking is if we can use the same screen and just just add, so no, like that. We can check if this is, for example, the add recipe screen, we need these 3 fields, and if this is the add category screen, we have just these 2 fields.
That could be, but if we do that, we have a lot of struggle because there is a lot of interconnections with the stuff, right? We have different form validations, we have maybe other implementations inside. So this is sometimes the consideration where you have to discover if you want to be dry, which means don't repeat yourself, which is exactly what you want to do. And the other part, which is called wet, repeat yourself if you have to.
Okay,
it is like clean code coverage that we are talking here about. So dry is always fighting against wet, and you have to always decide when it makes sense to copy something and when it makes sense to keep it.
Okay.
At that moment, I'm more for copying it a little bit, not completely, because we can still use the constants, for example. But for example, the background image will be different, right? The fields will be different. We will not have an image picker. That will be different. So all of these different stuff is different. What we could do if we have that, for example, we could create a widget out of it and have for everything a single purpose. So for example, that image picker could be completely separated because it is logical, something that contains its own logic.
Yeah, makes sense.
But
But you're right. So let's adjust. I think the background image which we have for add recipe is it's not a network image, isn't it?
I don't think that this is a network image. I can check. We have an asset and an image.
So just add another image, I would say, and.
Okay. So how can we do that the best way?
Just a splash or pixel.
So yeah, I think just going to unsplash.
Or I can do that.
Hi Tanish, nice to see you. You can do that?
Yeah.
Or maybe the community can also find a very nice background image for that. So if you find a very cool background image that we can use on categories, please. We can't get a link. That's unlucky. We can't get a link. I really have to think about how I can improve that process. Maybe we can get some chat messages somewhere else or something. So let's see, Pixabay. What is Pixabay? I always go to usually to Pexels or something.
I will send you a link.
All right. So royalty-free images. Why is that German? I don't.
Pixabay.
Yeah. So I got the info right now that I should use Pixabay, and I'm very happy with that.
Go for the
category.
So
what did you search for?
Just category.
Category. So let's see.
Well. Okay, I did it on the Unsplash.
Maybe food. Food is always good.
Yeah. Why not?
I think I go also with Unsplash. And here we have category.
And go for this nice spicy
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
We have different spices.
Nice. Are that nuts or it looks like that? That is pistachio or?
No, I don't know.
Alright.
Don't blame.
Google is bad. Yeah, I could get them on Discord, that's right. Maybe for the next time that we create something like that. But I don't have Discord yet open and I don't want to destroy anything because it works. Alright, so we will add that image here. Oh, no, we will not do that. We first have to Photoshop it because we don't want to have the full image with the full size and also with the full 2 megabytes.
We can just cover the height.
We can just cover the height, or we just make it as big as the screen is at the moment.
Okay.
Or we could also get the whole thing and then create on that.
Just actually, I thought we could just get it as a background image, and after that, just fit to the height.
We can do that, but still, I would like to at least make it a bit smaller. That the size of it is not that
it's too
large
big.
because it's really big. So, and still it's good, and we can now export it, and it's not that large as an image itself, so don't pollute the space of the device so much. So I reduce also the quality a little bit. You can see everything below 200 is usually my goal. So let's try to compromise it a little, and here we go. Fantastic. There's a lot of homework.
Okay, here.
All right.
Yeah, okay. I don't want that we have.
Yeah, no worries. Cool, don't save, we don't need that. And here we go.
Can we have concentrated title in the app bar? No, can we have a center title? Sorry. Can we have a center title in the app bar? I think so.
Sure.
We have some parameters that we should just set it.
You have multiple options. Well, usually for material design, so in Android, you will have them usually on the left side, and in iOS, it will automatically go into center. But if you really want to have it in the center, you of course can do that because your app bar, we have this custom app bar. So, and here's our app bar. We have here a title, right? And this title takes over a widget.
Yeah.
And what is the best thing that we know about widgets? We can
just wrap it.
Whatever we want. So if we put a center here, we will see on our widget that the title is getting centered.
Yeah.
That is the easiest way that you can do. And I would like to have give it to him.
But as you said, yeah, in the iOS is actually in the center already.
It's automatically in the center. Yeah, that's very important for the iOS people. Yeah, fantastic. Add categories. So we want to have that this scaffold has a background image, right? Can a scaffold has a background image? I think so, or?
I would say it's set. No?
No, can't be. Cool. So then we have to wrap that. How did we do that in add recipe? Stay with me, Mahtab. You
yeah,
don't
it's a
have
container
to change. Yeah, so we have here our container. So we surround that whole thing with a container widget. Amish, please.
Ours.
Don't spam our channel, that is not necessary. So now we have the decoration here, right? With the box decoration, which then gets wrong keyword and the
yeah, Abby, this is also possible. I thought actually in the same way. I thought also it has a parameter where you can just set it to true.
Ah, has it?
Yeah, I think it's a center title.
Sorry for that. Could be. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. And even easier.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. Thank you, Abby. So for everyone who didn't know that, like me, there is a property for the app bar called center title, and you have centered. Oops. Ooh. What do we have? Decoration image, and that has an image with an image provider, which is our image. Asset image. Thank you. Asset image. And this image. It's a string, of course. That will be, what will it be? Assets / images / bg add categories font.
JPEG?
JPEG. Yeah. Something like that. bg add category. bg add category. Looks good, right? Assets, image. Yep. Fantastic. So how does it look? So we have that. So you told me something about that this image can be bigger, right?
Yeah.
So what can we do for that?
You will have, I think, in the asset image, or no, in the decoration image. Yeah, I think it's fine. Go for fit, box fit. And I think in the box fit we have something like cover, for example. See how does it look like?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Do we have also something like cover height?
Cover height?
Yeah. No, or just height or something.
Fit height?
Fit height.
No different.
Okay, no different.
Okay.
So, in the meanwhile, we have another question from Tanish. He asks, I have a little doubt. How to convert a stream data to a list and send it to other screens? How to convert a stream data to a list and send it to other screens.
So you get a stream from a network repository call, I assume.
Which is a JSON, right?
For example, from Firebase or something. Yep. So you get a JSON, a stream of a different object. It could be like your repository object, or let's assume we would get from Firebase through a stream our categories, right? Then we could get these information, and we don't know exactly when they are arriving, but whenever they arrive, we could listen to the stream and take the information that are inside. And what we could do is we could save this list of categories, for example, inside of a provider or any state management like Qubit or anything like that. We could save it there through, and then different screens could have access to this provider. And with that, we would get the same information from all of them. So I think that would be your solution, Tanish.
And because we have to wait for that, it's going to be most likely a future with async.
A stream is always asynchronous. It's the plural of future. Yeah, MobX, Redux, all of them.
Yeah.
Of course, all stream management solutions. You will find a fantastic playlist here on this channel. Okay, so add category. We have now our background image, but we don't have still... I'm feeling a bit bad, right? We are talking at the beginning, I said that I was promising more or less that we finished today, that we can add a category, and we are writing UI till now. Okay, so now I give a bit speed. So let's see, form.
We need the form.
Form field and another one, right?
Yeah.
Voila. And this text form field has a decoration. What is it? Input decoration, I think.
Yeah.
And this will have a label text, and the label text says like, what is category actually? The category model deserves a name, an image URL, and an ID. Okay, so name and image URL is the only thing that we can provide.
And what we can do is actually use the same text field and the image widget that we use already in our add recipe screen. So if we just extract them and use them here again,
what do you
instead
mean,
of creating again, if you go just to the add a screen at the recipe screen,
yes,
here we have most likely a form with some
text form field, yeah,
with the text form field.
With a validator, keyboard type, but all of them are just specific for this text form field.
Okay, that's because of the box decoration and everything, so I thought we can use the same one.
Ah, does it look specific? Yeah, that could be. We can use that as a constant again, I think. So I think that makes sense. It's anyway a bit ugly, so let's clean that up. So you mean this is the drop down, but this box decoration more or less,
yeah, for example.
Which would be the container of the text form field.
Yeah.
If I give that a const, is it happy? No. Okay, we don't do that. So go away. So we can't make that a constant. How can we share that the best? I think it's hard to copy. The problem is now exactly what I said. We don't have here a constant, so we really would have to write the whole thing here.
Okay. So here I thought we can use the same one.
Yeah.
Because we have this one and these both fields are that which we needed also for our category.
Yeah. Okay. So this box decoration here, I will copy in that case, because as I said, this is just specific stuff inside and it's calculated here inside. This gives us some headache at the moment.
Yeah.
So this input decoration text form field, this has now a container surrounding it, right? And on this container has this box decoration, which is a decoration, giving that stuff inside. And we have to import our constant library.
Yeah.
So how does it look like now in our screen? Beautiful, exactly what we wanted, right?
Yeah,
perfect.
Something like that.
Okay, so it seems that we have a column with a custom app bar, which is up here, fantastic. And now we want to have here a bit more space for everything, right? You want to tell us something?
Yeah, I'm thinking about something, but just let me think about it before I speak.
Okay, take your time. In the meantime, I checked the text form field for some other informations from our part that we had already. We have here also that collapsed part. I think we should also add that here in our decoration. That was in the text form in the input decoration dot collapsed. Oh, why can't it have a label text then? In text is required. All right, so this one will be the name, category name. Category name. All right. Yeah, looks better.
Much better. And now here we need just maybe a height. Or no, I think height is fine. Maybe just an alignment. Or isn't it alignment? Yeah. With the padding. So I wanted just to do it
okay, let's just check.
Similar to our add recipe screen.
Yeah. So we have some space here and some space here, but at the end we need some padding on the left, on the right. An important note.
Do we have already a border here for our Do we have?
What, a border?
Do we have a border in our add category screen? No, not here. Around our text field. Can you see a border?
Yeah, it's
yeah, maybe it's a border. Okay.
So what should I do next, Mahtab?
So please just add the padding so it's not
surrounding the container here?
No, in the container. In the container we have padding. Yeah.
How much?
24.
20, and I make 16 in that case because I think we use usually 8 at the moment. So
okay, just have a look here. How does it look like?
Are you sure it is of that container?
No. Not anymore.
Okay, so what I think is that we have to surround this container with a padding, and we want to give that 20 on the left, on the right.
Okay.
So, which is only
in the left, yeah.
And no, it's not only, sorry, it's symmetrical. Symmetric, and this is vertical, I think. And if we take a look, no, it was not vertical, it was horizontal, obviously. So now we have some space, we have category name, and I don't know why we don't have a space in front of it.
Yeah, because here we need to have a padding inside and just in the left side. Inside of our container.
Inside of the container, padding and with the left side. So
yeah.
edge inset only. Absolutely. So.
Much better.
Yeah? Is it just 8?
No, it's 20.
Ah, 20.
No, oh, okay. That's on top of that.
Alright, so here we go. Alright,
okay,
and I keep that for now because we want to get fast into our possibility to write some
logic.
Stuff.
Okay.
So the text form field needs now a controller.
Yeah.
And this is a text editing controller, which we initialize. And obviously don't keep here down here because we couldn't access it. We create a variable for that up here. And I think we can do it like that. So now we create that. This is now not final. I think that is the problem in a stateless widget, right? So, and this has a better name. This is not text editing controller. This is
add recipe.
Add category name.
Category name controller. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, and the next controller that we need is the category image. Ah, but this is not the text editing.
It's just an image picker.
Yeah, it's again an image picker. Perfect. So, and in my opinion, because I believe we have an error. Oh, yeah. Go away. Cool. So now we have the option to change something in the text form field, right? That should be possible. And we can access this category name controller. And at the end, from all of that, we don't need a second text form field. We need a button, right?
We need a container, I assume.
Raise button. Why do we need a container?
Because of the image picker.
The image picker I want to extract from the other thing.
Okay.
So to do add image picker.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because I think we have that image picker. It has one task to do. So it would be perfect if we can just reuse it somehow. So I would like to create a widget for that.
Yeah.
Have an eye on that. So that is this. So we have that image picker. We have a raised button, and on pressed we just send. So we have here also a to-do where we
get the raised button. Ah, no.
Navigate back to
save and navigate
dashboard, I think.
Yeah.
And we have to save the new recipe.
New category. Perfect.
All right.
And I would say
and I think that should be the opposite.
Yeah, the design of our raised button can be the same as the raise button, which we use already in our add recipe screen.
Okay, so there is already a design. That's good.
Yeah, something like that. I would say.
Down, this is something else. Category.
We have shape.
Container size stack.
Scroll down. Here we go.
Okay, so we have some padding. We have a shape of a rectangle border. All right. This is also not a const, unfortunately, or we could reuse it. Yeah. Okay. But what we could do is for that we could create a widget now, and we pass inside of it an onPressed method, the text that we want to pass into it, and then we can just reuse that whole raised button, I think. So I will do that quickly.
Yeah. Do you want to use Flutter Inspector?
Flutter widget. Is image error visible cannot be extracted. That is the problem. That is image error visible is state that we access here most likely. So we did here a mistake. We didn't have a provider for that. Else we could do that. So now.
So, but we can also. Where is this variable?
In the state up here. We can pass it down. Yep.
We can pass it with the provider.
So what I will do is selecting all of that. But the problem. No, that was the list. Fantastic if you have a Windows keyboard. Okay, so we need a stateless widget for that, right? So how is it called?
Submit button.
Submit button, all right. And we pass that all inside. So, and now we get some errors like this, which is a field. And also you are a field most likely. We don't know what that is at the moment. Set state is not a function now. To remove that. And I think that, no, we don't remove that. We just take the whole onPressed method without, right? So.
This is clever. Okay.
We just create our
Smart.
own. Smart. Yeah, thank
clever.
you, thank you, thank you. So create a field for that. This is not a variable. This is actually a function. Or even better, a void. I do everything that I can do. I promise you. I try my best. Must be immutable. Sure. This is final. This is final. Why can't it? Yeah, we need a constructor for that. That's fine. And we are going to
no pleasure. Mac doesn't have any pressure.
So, and now we have that submit button that we need. Where do we need it? After that size box, most likely. Submit button.
Yeah.
So, and this one has the onPress function, which can stay exactly the same.
Yeah.
And what's very interesting here is that I just used that void callback. That is a method information that comes from Flutter team, so we can just reuse that.
I'm checking if you could work under pressure or not.
So is image error is the other thing that we have to pass in at the moment. So and this is the same variable, and that should do the trick. I'm not very happy with that. Is image error visible? Because, well, why? On the other hand, why not? We can do that.
We can always do some refactoring max.
On the other hand, where is it used? No, we don't need that actually. That is a terrible idea. The thing is, this is living inside of our callback, so we don't need that. And the widget is still working, you see? So this part is not necessary, because that is image visible is part of the state of this class here.
Okay.
So the submit button is getting now an own file, right?
Can you please, before you extract again, check the app if everything works fine?
Oh yeah, sure. So I add that back, organize a little bit, reloading. So this is the wrong page. Let's go there, and it looks still the same.
Okay, perfect. So just click on submit. Okay.
I should click on submit. Yep, go for it. So we still get our error messages. Everything is fine. Fantastic. So now this submit button is at the moment living inside of a second class, right? And we would never have one file with two classes.
Yeah.
That's usually an antipattern. We don't want that. So in our case, we want to have our widget element down here. And inside of widgets, we keep our widgets that we share across the application. So multiple screens can use one widget.
Yeah, and in this case, we have a submit widget.
Submit button widget, right?
Yeah.
Dart. And I think we can't, yeah, we keep the widget for now. And we put everything here inside. And we have to import everything that is necessary, like material and the constant part. And this has now two benefits, right? Because first, we have the submit button taken out of this class. And the second part is we made the code a bit more easier to read because it's less lines of code, right? And the best part,
now we are going to add category and now just use the submit button, which is amazing. By the way, guys, Max, if you have any error in your code with the red line, you can just press the F2 and you just directly to the arrow. Yeah. I learned yesterday, therefore.
So let's assume I make here a mistake and I jump with F2 to it. You can see I jump right away to the next error that exists in the code. Whew. Okay, this was now a little bit of speed coding. I hope that is okay. And that was my phone, sorry for that. So now we have that submit button. We can have some onPressed inside of here. We have our to-dos, that's all fine. And next step would be to extract the image picker, right? We have here our huge part with the image picker, I think. So we have that stack with the camera, with the onPressed method that actually do the image picker part.
And I think here we can also extract the whole widget.
Yeah, I think also, because we have also that error. And we have, if the image is selected, we get the image visible, right?
Yeah.
And up here, what do we have here? The container. I think the whole container is part of it, right? So all of that would be...
Is it like that?
And I think the whole part here is for the image. So I can try that by just taking it out and take a look into the screen. And as you can see in that recipe, it is everything what we have to lose.
So the F2 is for Mac for sure, and the coding guide, no?
No, not for Mac, for Android Studio.
Sorry. Yeah, for sure. It's for Android Studio, and the F8 is for Visual Studio Code. So no.
Yeah, well, Amish, you know our Flutter Friday, which is usually all 2 weeks with the Flutter news. So this is our Flutter Friday contribution. Flutter Wednesday, well, yeah, we have our live stream on Flutter Wednesday, so we are still with you. Okay, so we take the whole container, right? And we create our widget that is like the image picker widget, right?
Yeah.
Stateless image picker widget, and we get our material part and replace the whole thing, and we should be fine with that. Getting some errors, import what we need. So the image is now the state that we have to. That's interesting. How can we do that now? So the image is the selected image. And now we have to be a bit more creative, because the image that is necessary here is the image that is getting selected from the. Will we add block? Most likely not.
No. We are working with provider, right?
At the moment, yeah, we started with it, and I think we should keep it for that. We can make a live video for that, because I have to anyway still learn it, so maybe it makes sense there. So I would like to keep that image state here.
So what we can do again is, Max, to extract instead of having the unpressed method here, we can again create a function for that, a void callback.
Yeah, but then we would get the logic from that twice, right? Because that image selection logic, we would have to create twice.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because on bottom of that, we check it again, you mean, right?
Yes, exactly. So the idea would be that we don't have to have it for the category and the recipe screen, because the selection for an image should work always the same.
Yeah.
What I think is, what we could do is, like, that image could be inside of a provider, and we share the provider, but this is not working fine. I think we have no other choice than bringing the logic up and then share it by maybe a provider or something. Is that right? I don't know.
Can I scroll up?
Difficult to say. So all of it is accessing the image.
So if we create here a variable for the image.
So what we could do is that changing to a stateful widget. I don't know if I like that now, but I will just do that for now, and then we have to check what we can improve there. Getting an image. So this one is file image, and this is a file, right? Not an image. Enough. And this image picker is coming from the method image picker. We have to import. Fine. Where's the next issue? Up here. That is Dart.io in that case. We imported it already. Yeah.
No.
So is image error visible? Image is equal to null. Well, okay, let's have that one. Yeah, sure. We have that in our state here.
And now I need a new variable. Yeah, okay.
And now that should be cleaned up. But still, I don't like that we have now state here inside. I don't know if it's really necessary. But on the other hand, it will work now for now. So if I check the add categories and I add now
image pick.
Add category. Yep, we'll have it in a second. But more important is this one. I have it been there. Now we just replace it with that image picker widget. Failed assertion.
I think you should restart the app, Max.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, just a second, I will do that. We have to add state to use set state. That is absolutely true.
Right.
But that's why I'm saying this part shouldn't have to be a stateful widget. I'll clean that one up. Getting here, that could be also cleaned up a little bit. Set state is called for that. All right, this is working. Okay, so just reload. Let's see what happens here. No, expression must not be null. So there is somewhere an expression that is failing. So let's check. We have the invalid value. Value range is empty 0 in the dashboard screen. Change modifier. Why is that broken? The add recipe screen. This one.
Because with text.
This part is empty. Okay, that makes sense. So I have to set that first to false. Because we at the beginning we don't have an error. So Boolean expression must not be null. Okay. Most likely because I changed the state, right? So hot reload. Right. Here we
Perfect.
go. Okay, so if I submit, we don't get the error message at the moment. So this is the next thing that we have to validate somehow. So we don't validate down here anymore the values, right? And I think we get even an error. That's good.
Value range is 0.
Drop down values, category is 0, and this is null most likely. Valid value range is empty, so we try to get the first value here that is null most likely, and then we try to access it. So what if the init state of address
drop down value?
If you remember, we have here that no noodles, for example, and it complains at the moment that this list here is maybe empty at the beginning.
Okay.
And because we don't.
But we didn't change anything in the list in the drop down value.
It could be that it is an error that already existed and we just ignored it so long because we didn't look into the command, the run. And I just remember that we have somewhere a print statement, so we should maybe get rid of that. And that is actually a good point. With the analysis options, we could get rid of these stuff.
Yeah.
So what is the chat saying? That is true. We have to add state, set state, restart. The next useful feature for Flutter, autocomma, maybe. You could add an issue for that. I think the Flutter team is very happy for such a stuff. You hear the Mac? Really? I hope not. It already had. This can be seen from the lag. If insect coffee, else coffee. All right.
Okay,
so
perfect.
nothing new.
So everything is
good. Where have we been? We go back here. I think, is the selection of the image still working? Is a very important question. So I will try that. Yes. So the image selection is still working. So if this is good, we can now try to do that for the add category screen. There we don't have that yet, but now we will add it, right?
Yeah.
So here we have our image widget. All right. So most likely we need some sized boxes with a height of 20. Like that, and the same thing for after that one, and the add image picker can be done. Cool. It looks already promising. The only thing that I don't like is that there is a padding from that, but not up there.
I think because we have the column, and the column should maybe exist in a container, the whole column, so that we can give it, or the column should be wrapped in a padding.
Yeah. The problem is if we wrap the column with a padding, our custom app bar is also getting shrink down.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
This is not what
the
I
question
would
is
like.
that if
so
we
most likely we have to wrap inside of our column a second column for the padding and all the other stuff. And I can do that, but what we have to do then is wrapping this one with a padding, which is then symmetric, I think, with horizontal. Right? Was the number. And if we do that, then we have to give that one an expanded, I think. Expand that. because it should take the rest of the space from the screen, right? So now we have our column and the children, and now all of these parts have to be children of that second column that we created. So here. So that was a lot, but it works.
It works perfectly.
Good, let's drink some coffee. And catch a short break. What did we do? We started to create our add category screen. We added the category name. We made it possible to select now an image for that.
Yeah, we extract the image picker from the other screen.
Yeah.
And could use it anywhere else that we want. And then now we should just adjust the screen, which means maybe do some axis alignment. Main axis or cross axis?
We could do that, but I think at the moment we should have a more important part right now in getting this image, because now we want to save something. I don't want to waste more time in the UI at the moment. I really want to save something. We use the Hive because we promised that. We have only 20 minutes left, I think, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me think. We have to jump here right inside. And on pressed, we get a save the new category and navigate back to the dashboard, right? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to receive an image, right, from that image picker. Or actually, we want to create a category model.
We have a category model, and we have already a method in our Hive database, which is save, I think.
Yes. What I would do is just to separate our logic a little bit, because you see we have here these two to-dos. But to separate our logic, I would really like to create a provider for here, that we can call our provider and do there the logic for creating a category to save our dashboard and so on. And only the navigation should happen here at the end.
So we have the app provider, isn't it? Where?
Yeah, but it's the global state, right? So we would have everything inside one state. What I would like to do is creating a second one, which is only there to keep track of the category screen.
Okay.
The add category in that case. So we have to go to the dashboard screen, and here we create our material page route, right? And now we can surround that add category screen, which will only contain the provider for our add categories. So we can have the logic for all of that stuff here. So I will create here a change notifier provider and order that a little bit. And we have to create function with a context. And now we have to create the provider that we want. So we don't have a provider yet created. So we will have that, which is the add category provider. And we will create that in a second. And we have to import. Is it not change notifier provider? I thought so.
Is it change notifier? Is notifier?
I thought I can. Change notifier provider from the provider package. Yeah,
okay,
sure.
That
makes so much sense. Yeah. Scrollable right now? That's a good question. I don't think so that it is scrollable at the moment. So that should be just hard-coded in a certain way, so you can't scroll here. I think we can kick that off, and we will see that it's not scrollable. So it even looks a bit funky with the box fit. Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. But this is a problem for the future Max and future Mahtab. Now we want to save something in our Hive database. I really want to make that possible today. So we have to fix the dashboard change notifier provider. It complains that the add category provider is not implementing or extends the change notifier.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic problem. And here inside we will have two things, right? We will have the image, which is a file, right? So we will have a file image. And
which should be private.
Yep, yeah. Fantastic. And the other thing is a string, right? Which is the category name.
Yeah.
So also that one will be private, and we import the file. That was wrong. I don't want to have the HTML. We want to have the IO. And
maybe
down here we need at least a getter for the name, right?
Yeah.
So
and I think also for this
file? Yeah, I can create that.
I think so. String.
Is it get string or string get? Get
yeah, like that.
And this is red, and why? A value of file cannot be returned from a... Ah, yeah, sure, it's not. String get category name category.
Please add APK to Git repository. It would be easy to install it. As Hamish. Produce overflow when you will open the keyboard in a...
That is true. What we can do to avoid that at the moment is just adding these two parameters called resize on that part.
So this is actually the answer for the coding guy.
Yes, exactly.
He asked it would be produce overflow when you will open keyboard in landscape mode.
Oops. Oops.
On the okay. So it will be scrolled up next when we open the keyboard.
Yeah, but it's a bit weird that the focus stays in the category name and I can't jump out.
Okay.
Here is something very fishy, I think. Ah. Alright, anyhow, we have to check that out at the moment.
So, but let's focus at first on our method that we wanted to write.
Yeah. So we have now our dashboard screen. We created our change notifier. What I will do is getting here inside of our providers a new file called what is the name?
Category. Add category.
Category. No, yeah. Add category.
No, actually just category.
Category provider?
Yeah, because we later maybe we want to delete or everything, and we can do everything in the same file. Or
true, but this provider is now for the UI part for just add category at the moment. We would only surround that if we would have that now as a category screen. We need it in dashboard, we need it everywhere else. So it's getting bigger. So the question is now where we want to have the whole thing. We started now with a small one, and I would stick with that at the moment, just that we get something finished. Start. So we put all that parts inside, we import the foundation and the file here. Whew, it's getting warm inside. That is absolutely true, the coding guy. That is absolutely true. And what is wrong here? The add category provider is not there. So alright, so now we have them. And now we have to get an idea how we can change these. Alright, so
how we can add, right? How we can save.
So now we have access inside of that widget, access to the provider from everywhere inside. So the question is more, what do we want now to do? We have to get access of the image somehow, which is then another part here inside. But luckily, because the provider is the parent of everything, the provider will also be part of that image picker widget. So we have also access inside of that to receive the image here.
So we need just to wrap it in a consumer actually.
The only problem that I see is that if we change something here inside and it is shared between two screens, we have to change the logic. So that means that onPressed method will now have to leave here. We don't have a chance to keep that down here, I think. Not with a good feeling.
But Max, start at first with the add name, to save everything.
So just to save the name, I think that sounds like a good idea. Just to keep our time. Then we can have next week the refactoring here. And I think we have to do some refactoring.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, so what was the idea? To get the name, you said, right? So whenever this changes here, the category name controller changes its value. And as soon as we press the submit button, we want to push the name, for example, inside of our provider.
Yeah.
So
at the moment, we have already in our repository a save method to our Hive or database.
That's true. But what I want to do now in our provider is getting access to the...
what's the name?
Add category provider. And now we have access to it, and we have to import the provider here. And now we can call our functions that we want to have.
Which is save category, for example.
Correct, but we don't have that yet.
Yeah.
So, right. So first we have.
It will return.
I think we don't even need the category name here, but yeah. What we need is our function to save our category in Hive. So save category in up. We get a function. Oh, here we go. And this will take a string, which is the category name.
Yeah.
And we have access to it. And now we have to do save category.
Yeah.
So, and after that, here on the provider off, we can save category, give the category name inside.
Which is from our controller.
Category controller dot name text, right?
Yeah.
Voila. So navigate back to the dashboard. So, and if the save was successful, so we would get from the save category most likely a future void, right? Void.
Yeah.
That will be asynchronous, and then at the end we return true or false.
For example, for now.
So this would be bool. Cool. And now whenever we receive here something, we can wait for it. And it's getting, of course, asynchronous, and we get a boolean, which is navigate or saved successful. And if this is the case, if this part, then the keyboard kills me right now. Navigator.pop. So we're just jumping back in the context.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, but now we still have to save our things, right?
Category.
Yeah.
We need the name and the URL.
So we have to save with the name and the URL, but the URL would be the image, and we said we ignore that for now, right?
Yeah.
So
go out first for the name.
Yeah. So what we need is a category model, right?
Yes.
That is what we want to save with the name. That is the category name. And this category name is now a new created one, right? So our category. And this one should be saved.
Yeah.
And if you remember, we have on the very top, we have the provider for the app provider.
Yes.
And this allows us to add a category at the moment already. Yeah. And then we have inside of that app provider an add category provider, which is a very bad name up here. This is add category provider at the moment. It's also the name here. And this one can now call this one. So by doing so, we just need the context up here. Build context. It could be a bad solution at the moment. I'm feeling a bit like I'm doing that too fast here at the moment. But let's check that out. It will work at the end, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So this gets the context inside, and then the text of the category. Inside of here, we will now have access to the provider of app provider. So to our parent, right? And we have to import the package of provider. And now we can access the context and ask for add category. And here we add the new category, which is our category
name.
No, that is this variable that we created, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
20 likes, really fantastic. So now we added the category to our parent. This should do the trick. And because we do in the add categories, we add it to our list. This should add it to our list where it's getting. The only problem that we have to do is now saving the whole thing. And where do we have this Hive stuff? In the repository.
In the Hive.
Yeah, so the save category, is it used once? Yes, down here, which is in the Hive DB. Okay, interesting. So how do we save the stuff? We get the box, we save box values, box add something. So let's see if this is working. For this, we most likely want to have a service locator, like get_it. Because as you can see, this repository has something, and we just want to have a singleton of this one.
Okay.
Don't want to
just create one time.
Yeah. But how does our quick and dirty solution would look like? We have that save category at the moment. We call the add category, and inside of here, we want to save the category in the repo at the moment. So I will do that now here without dependency injection, but we will do that in the future with getIt. So the next time, it's your time where you will add getIt for that. So here in the app provider, we create the category repo, right? So that is the repo, which is a category repo that we create. And now we can access this repo down here and say save category, new category. Right? And this should be private. So this line here saves the new category to the database. So the next time we start up the application, we have the category still in place.
And what does the add will do?
This part?
Yeah.
It adds to the list of categories that we already have to reflect our data, our categories in the UI.
Yeah. Okay. And after that, we will save it to our database, which is a Hive.
So,
okay.
And what we can do now is if I'm clicking here, and we add a category name, for example, Hello World, or let's call it Hello Fresh because it is a category. And now we press on submit. Nothing happens, so we most likely got an error somewhere, which is fantastic. Errors helps us to fix problems, right? So what do we have here? That seems like a provider issue. Yes, we have somewhere used the provider and didn't set likes increased 10%. Thank you. And what do we have here? The listen is false. The problem is provider tells us if we make a mistake where we call the provider off and asking for the context and didn't set the listen to false. So like here, it needs to be listen false. And if we try it now again, most likely we will be lucky enough. We lose that keyboard somehow. Yeah. And going here inside, we add the category Hello Fresh, and I press submit, and we get the next error. And this will be somewhere else most likely. So we didn't found all the occurrences in the add category screen. It is. So here we have the second one where we have also not the listen false. But now I'm telling you,
can
now
you
it has happened.
Replace the successful with the right successful. We have a typo in it, I think.
You think?
Yeah.
Impossible. I don't make typos. Okay, so what have we done? We have that, and now we should be able to add a category. So again, Hello Fresh. We click on submit.
I think we have to do a hot reload, Max.
You think so? We can check for a second, but there are still some problems, I think. So ensure that app provider is an ancestor of add category screen widget. Provide types provider.
Provide type to consumer.
Yes,
okay,
we have an issue.
Forget somewhere.
I know the problem is that I was convinced that the widget tree is different, but this is not the case. Can we check the dev tools? Then I show you what I mean. I was expecting that the app provider at the moment is parent of all the widgets, but because we didn't use the on-generated route system, we actually don't do that. So if you can see, the change app provider is up here, right? But as you can see, the add category provider is here. So
do we have two?
This is a whole different widget tree, like this one.
Okay.
Makes sense. Wait, I make it a bit bigger that the community can see, that everyone can see it. So that means we have completely two widget trees, and as you can see, they are getting up here, and this makes us difficult right now because the add category screen is a whole different screen. So if we want that the app provider screen is for both screens there,
so
we have to surround the material app up here.
Yeah.
So what we will have to do is we go to our main.dart, where we probably have the app provider configured. And what I will do now is
close a little bit some.
yeah, I close a little bit some. This one, and most likely that one. So we have a bit space. We have to get rid of this part, which gets the home again. And this whole change notifier part is getting one level higher. So it surrounds the material app. So now we have here a change notifier provider. And we get the, I think we don't have to do it here. CI-image, create, and here we have the context inside and pass the app provider inside. Voila. Does it work already? Fantastic. So and if we take a look again into our .devtools and I refresh the tree, you can see now that because we have surrounded the app provider around the material app, we have now here the everything inside.
Yeah.
And below there, if we navigate now to the next screen, voila, we will see that, or at least I hope so, that I have to refresh the tree again. We should see that the second provider is now an ancestor. So this is the second provider, so it is now an ancestor of the app provider.
Yeah.
So down here we have now access to both of them.
Yeah. And I think the Sasa Baba, I don't know if I pronounce it right or not, he said, I think you can use multi-provider.
We could do that, but we have to make sure, because what I change here is we have now two screens, and I want that the add category provider is not the full state, not on the full application. The add category provider is only responsible for the add category screen at the moment.
So that means each screen has its own provider.
Not necessarily, but we did it in that case that way. So the add category provider is only for this thing there. Using global provider is a good idea in general. Well, it depends. You usually have some global providers which contains information that should be over the whole application. For example, loading is a very important global state that you usually have, right? So if the application is in loading state or not. And everything else should be usually as small scoped as possible, that you can't make something wrong there. But this is also just true for some parts. So it highly depends on how you work. For example, I think block pattern, for example, consists out of multiple stores. Again, for every small part of the application, it has its own store and its own state in that case. Redux, on the other side, has only one big store and all work on this store. So this is a bit different. So you have to decide for yourself what you like. For our application, we are happy to save our stuff in a global state because the application will be most likely very small. And we don't have to really care about where the state is actually living and where we get all the data from. But if we want to make it right, I would always suggest to keep the scope as close, as small as possible.
Okay. And now let's hit the submit button.
All right, I hit the submit button. So hello fresh again. Fresh and hit the submit. We navigated, so we didn't get an error.
And I saw the HelloFresh already.
You saw it already? Oh, yeah, so good. Here we go. We have HelloFresh. And the best thing is our placeholder is still at the end. And we got all of the others. And this is now not really something amazing, right? What really is amazing, if I restart this application, it will still be there.
Yeah.
So that is the fantastic part, right? We don't lose our state of the application anymore. It will be always there. So and just to prove that, I will close the application down at the moment, restart the whole thing.
So we manage it.
Yeah,
we have something for Hive.
At least some Hive we had in place. Oh, you are very welcome, Hamid. I hope it helps you. That's always the big stuff, right? State management is always a huge topic for all applications. So how should you structure it? There is no perfect way. You will always have compromises, but yeah, it's just you have to find a good solution for yourself, I think. And here's HelloFresh.
Amazing.
That is really cool, I think, because
that
now
was great.
We can add a category, right? And the same thing we have to do now for the add recipe. And what I would do maybe for our application is something like we have the global state that will have always access to the database in Hive. And all the different parts of the application, like add recipe screen, gets its own provider, which then calls the other provider, so that we have like a consistent state and we know how our app is structured. This is our architecture that I would suggest today.
Yeah, amazing. We will do it, Max.
Cool. All right. So is there anything left?
We have many things to do still, but I think we can manage it this time.
Yeah.
Our time is already over.
It's already over. I'm sorry for that.
It's fine, I think.
It was a great session, or?
Yeah, that was great. We have a great interaction with our community. And thank you guys for joining us. That was amazing. Thank you for supporting us and motivating us.
Yeah.
This is always great from your side.
And yes, coding guy, I will push them. No worries.
We will push everything in the GitHub
Maybe I can do
repository.
that right now, then I don't forget that. So that is... How many streams is it now? 6 or 7 or 5? I don't know anymore. So
I don't know, to be honest. We will create a new thumbnail for that and
category, screen, and provider. Yes, we have a Discord channel, and I think the easiest way to find it is that fantastic website flutterexplained.live.
Do some promotion.
So you can find it here, and down here you find the Discord channel. And if you press connect, you should be a part of it. And I think you can... Well, I don't have Discord open at the moment.
And before we do anything else, comment it, please, Max.
Okay. So there were some problems. I pushed that anyway now. That's fine. That we can work the next time on it.
Yeah.
And what did I want to say? Yeah,
just
to wrap
up. Say something about.
So we managed to have a category screen. We have now add categories. We can add a category. Actually, we used our CRUDs finally.
Yeah.
We had a fantastic session. We had a lot of interaction with you. It was super fun.
And we will add our Discord link in the description.
Oh yeah, that is something.
This is an amazing idea. Thank you for mentioning.
Yeah.
And now, guys, thank you very much for joining us. That was amazing with you.
And thank you so much for joining. And I'm really looking forward to see you the next time. See you guys.
Have a great weekend.